Hello and welcome back to Ball Around the Head. Unfortunately, Daniel is not with us today, but we have a dynamic duo for the first time in a while. Me and Andrew are here. What's up, Andrew?
What's up, Ben? What's up, everybody? Everyone who's listening on any platform or live. So I guess let's just get into it. So basically, if you haven't heard, Zion was asked a question about the New York Knicks and his potential to play there, or more specifically, if he enjoyed playing in the Madison Square Garden. And obviously, Zion lit up when he heard that question, perhaps because he would want to go there. Ben, do you think Zion's response to the Knicks kind of hints at him going there one day in his career?
I didn't at first, and then I heard the actual soundbite, and he really seemed really excited about it. But I still think people are overreacting a little bit. He's like Madison Square Garden. If it had been like the Bucks, if it had been Milwaukee or something, that'd be one thing. But Madison Square Garden, that's the most storied arena in the NBA. Every star has like a signature game in Madison Square Garden, from Kobe to LeBron to Steph Curry, and everybody loves playing there. It's probably the most popular arena to play in for a road player. So I wouldn't read all too much into it. I think Zion's kind of he's very humble. I think there's a possibility he's that sort of Damian Lillard, Giannis breed, where he just stays with the team that drafted him, even if it's a small market. But there's a possibility. He still has 2 more years on his contract, so this isn't going to be happening anytime soon.
The whole one and done thing, or with 1 year and they trade him with 1 year left on the contract, this might be happening sooner than you think. I feel like Zion will definitely play with the Knicks one day, and it might be a trade from New Orleans just directly to the Knicks sooner than later. And I mean, as far as his future, I mean, even if he wasn't traded, I could see him eventually signing there. Especially because Duke is in New York. So, and he played at Duke basketball. So, yeah. And his homie RJ Barrett's there already. And
that's true. Do you think he could coexist with Randall, or do you think he's only there in a post-Randall world?
I think Julius Randle is just like a present situation, sort of like having Karis LeVert play for the Brooklyn Nets early on in the season, and they flipped him early for James Harden. They might do the same with Julius Randle for Zion, but he's kind of old for New Orleans, Julius Randle. And so anyways,
I mean, if you're a Knicks fan, like, go ahead and get excited. You deserve it. You haven't had much to be excited about over the past few years.
And that one guy who had the New York Zion Williamson jersey before it was like drafted. Do you remember that?
Yeah. Yep. And then, of course, the Knicks got unlucky in the lottery, and you know how it goes. But hey, the Knicks are doing great. They've won 9 in a row. They have the 4th seed, I believe. Yeah, the 4th seed in the East right now. So Knicks fans, enjoy the now, and you have some hope for the future, I guess.
Yeah. Okay, anyways, so speaking of the future, Michael Porter Jr., a very young player in the league, his second year, is second or third year? Second year, right? Michael Porter Jr.
His second year actually playing. This is his 3rd year overall, I believe.
Oh, so he's injured. He was injured. Okay, so basically second/3rd year in the NBA, and he is currently on a streak. The last 6 games without Jamal Murray, because unfortunately, if you guys have not heard, Jamal Murray got injured against Golden State. And Michael Porter Jr. has had 25, 21, 21, 17, 26, and 39 in the last 6 games. Why has Michael Porter Jr. now decided to play very good basketball only after Jamal Murray was injured? Conspiracy?
I mean, I don't think it's too surprising, honestly. because I mean that opens up an opportunity for him. If you don't have Jamal Murray scoring on the wing, then that opens up Michael Porter Jr. as your next best scorer on the wing. So I don't think it's too surprising that he stepped up his game, as well as Nikola Jokic has stepped up his game. I think what is surprising is that the Nuggets have played well since Jamal Murray's injury.
Only losing once.
They are staying afloat at the 4th seed in the East, and they're 4 games ahead of the Lakers at the 5 spot. So they're doing well, but I think this puts out any championship hopes. Jamal Murray's injury.
Oh, yeah.
The Nuggets. Because, I mean, last year he was the one carrying them in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
He had those spectacular performances, even though he's not the best regular season player historically, but last season he really stepped it up in the playoffs. And unfortunately, ACL injuries are very serious. We hope he gets better. But yeah, Michael Porter Jr., this is his time to get an opportunity. It's time to shine.
Yeah, but speaking of developing players on the Nuggets, Bol is another very popular Nuggets player, and they are doing him dirty, only putting him in games when they are like lost. He played 2 minutes against the Warriors in a blowout. This was, when Jamal Murray was injured, and a guy tore his, or what did he? What is Jamal Murray's technical injury? Sorry,
ACL.
Yeah, Jamal Murray's ACL injury. They only played Bol for 2 minutes that game. A little bit disrespectful. Does somebody have to tear an ACL for them to put Bol in? Like, come on. He's a hidden gem. But speaking of the Warriors, oh, wait. Kind of early on that one. Speaking of young players, LaMelo Ball is, I guess, recently brought, I don't want to say thought of because I'm pretty sure it's confirmed, but he could be returning back to the NBA after his alleged fractured wrist season-ending injury. Do you still see LaMelo Ball as Rookie of the Year after his absence in the NBA because of his injury?
I think, as long as he plays well after he comes back, and as long as he contributes to them winning, then yeah, I think without the injury, he's clearly the Rookie of the Year, and it's kind of amazing coming back from, what was it, a fractured wrist, right? Fractured wrist. Mm-hmm. It's kind of amazing to come back this quickly. So yeah, he'd be my Rookie of the Year for sure if he came back and played well.
And led the Hornets out of the. Imagine if the Hornets were led outside of the play-in, because currently they're in the play-in, right?
Yeah, they're currently 500. Currently 1.5 games out from the 6th seed Celtics. So yeah, that'd be pretty amazing. If he didn't come back, I mean, honestly, the rookie class isn't all that stacked this year. There's a lot of solid rookies, but no one other than LaMelo has been consistently performing at a high level whenever they've played. Maybe
Anthony Edwards. Anthony Edwards. I don't think with him, the only problem I see is he didn't really stand out in LaMelo's absence. Ironically, his biggest highlight of the year with him was that dunk that he had against one of the Raptors player, but it was when LaMelo, I think that was either right after LaMelo's injury or right before. So, I mean, he hasn't really done anything since the Minnesota Timberwolves were like at the bottom of the NBA. So,
plus, yeah, I mean, they still are. I mean, the Timberwolves are still, well, they're besides the Rockets, they're still near the bottom of the NBA. Like they should be doing much better than they are.
Yeah. Well, good. I love LaMelo, so hopefully he'll get Rookie of the Year. It's good for NBA storyline. Speaking of NBA awards, Coach of the Year. Who do you think the Coach of the Year is, Ben? Because I think it's well known I do not associate with coaches. Coach of the Year for me is Coach Toro, and that's always my Coach of the Year. But what about you?
I think Quinn Snyder deserves to be Coach of the Year this year with what the Jazz have done.
Snyder?
Yeah. and coming back with, pretty much the same roster as last year when they had such high expectations, and coming out and being the number one seed, the best team in the NBA this whole time, this whole season. I think he deserves it. It's his time to win Coach of the Year. Someone else who I think could also deserve it is Doc Rivers. The Sixers surprised me this year. The Sixers,
Doc Rivers.
The Sixers surprised me.
No, I don't mind the Sixers, but Doc Rivers is just the 2008 bust. Like, they won the championship and everything, but
Doc Rivers
I don't like
is a
Doc
legend.
Rivers. Yeah. I don't know any Coach of the Year. I don't really know them, so I would just have to go with.
What team do you think overperforms?
The Suns coach probably. I think the Suns coach.
Yeah, Monty Williams.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. The Jazz have always kind of been relatively high in the playoffs, so I'd give the edge. They make the playoffs usually. They make it to Game 7s and get destroyed by the Nuggets, but I think with the Suns is they weren't really signing Chris Paul, they were expected to do okay, but not second in the Worms West. Okay, so I will give the Suns the advantage. Their coach.
I was thinking of Monty Williams, but I feel like it's more the Chris Paul effect. Like wherever he's gone the past few seasons, that just the team has played so well, and so I'd give the slight edge to Quinn Snyder, who's coming back with almost the same roster.
Yeah. Cool. So I guess. Okay. Anyway, so Curry is, as you know, a very inspirational player in the NBA. And recently he is on a tear when it comes to 30 points or more scored in a game. Yeah. So Curry did he pass Kobe with 11 games, or is he tied now?
He passed him, yeah. For a player 33 and over.
For a player 33 and over, Curry decides to pass Kobe in scoring 30-plus points. What are your thoughts on this, Ben?
It's been an amazing run for him. Like, honestly, it's not just the scoring. He's shooting insanely well from three. The shots have been insanely difficult. I mean, teams are doubling him. The Wizards finally basically put their whole team against him to finally snap the streak. But it's just been unbelievable. I think he's right there back in the MVP conversation. If you'll remember, probably about a month ago, I predicted that Steph Curry would rise in the MVP discussion and win it. I kind of backtracked on that, but we can forget about that.
Yeah, that's true.
And the Warriors are back up to 500. They're safely in the play-in at 4 games ahead of the Pelicans. They're keeping Zion Williamson out of playoff basketball. I think if he keeps playing like this, he is the MVP to me.
Nice. I feel like with this game or this streak, if I was Curry and I would have left Kobe number 1, or I would have tied him, and then I would have broke the streak and then done it again. And then
what if your team needs a bucket? It's a close game.
I mean, if it's for the win, it's for the win, and that's just like you have to do it. But I don't think he had to, win against 30 on the Lakers. So. Like, that's a little messed up, but wait, did they even play the Lakers? I meant to say the Nuggets. I feel like that was a while ago when they played the Lakers. But anyways, I would have left Kobe up there on the record books, and then I would have tried to break it again. But good for Curry, I guess. Anyways, speaking of, I don't even know how to tie this one in. AD, the Lakers are pretty bad with Anthony Davis right now. They've lost the 2 games they've played with him, both of them against Luka Magic. So I mean, what can you do? But what are your thoughts on Anthony Davis' struggles when he returned from injury?
I think this is not a concern at all. I mean, he's missed like 30 games. He's just coming back. He'll get back into the groove. We know he's a great player. It's not like he tore his Achilles or anything. It's not going to affect his long-term success. He's going to come back by the time in the playoffs. I'm not concerned about his play at all personally as a Lakers fan. And I'm not concerned about the Lakers losing in general. I think, it'd be an extra level of a surety if they stayed out of the play-in, but I don't think it's really that much of a concern even if they drop in. I don't think seeding is going to matter all that much when you have a healthy LeBron James and Anthony Davis.
True. And I feel like with Anthony Davis coming right back from injury, it's really not a shock that he'd have low numbers. Pretty sure he scored like 4 points on his return and just another 4 points today or something really low number.
He scored 17 this past game, but on 19.
Okay, yeah, so still bad. But I just think he's adjusting to having another 6'10" dude on the court, because
that's true.
Because Andre Drummond is taking a lot of rebounds. He had 19 and 12 against Dallas games with Anthony Davis. Andre Drummond's rebounds. So, Anthony Davis he doesn't have to do so much. Maybe it's not that he is struggling. It's just he doesn't need to do as much as he used to. But they lost both games, so he needs to step it up probably.
I think in the long term, once he gets back into the swing of things, that the addition of Drummond will only help him in his game because he likes to live. He doesn't live in the paint like Drummond does. He lives in the mid range and on the 3-point lines on the offensive end. That's where he's comfortable.
If you remember when he was playing in the playoffs last year in the bubble, he said he didn't want to go to center. Or maybe it was before when he was joining the Lakers in the summer. I can't quite get the timeline correct. But he said something along the lines of, I don't want to play in the center position like he did in the Pelicans. He wants to play more of, like you said, mid to 3-point range. And he obviously did that last year in the playoffs with his game winner on the Nuggets. And not the Nuggets. Game winner on the Rockets when he hit that game-winning shot.
I think it was the Rockets, yeah.
Yeah, the nice Mamba jerseys. So, yeah, Anthony Davis, he'll definitely be there for the playoffs, and I'm excited for this year's playoff. Hopefully the playing game is content accelerating worthy.
I'm excited for it. We're closing in on it. The first playoff spot has been locked up. The Jazz have officially clinched the playoff berth of getting at least the 6th seed. So it's coming. Nice. The playoff time is approaching. It's time to get excited.
That means the Suns will be coming in shortly, and definitely the Nets.
Yep.
And soon, the cookies
and the
crumble.
Rockets and the T-Wolves are the first teams eliminated.
Oh, wow. Yeah, well, no shock there. John Wall. I wonder if John Wall will stay on the Rockets next year. 2021 is a huge free agency class, 2022, I meant.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see.
I think it'll be another huge shift in the NBA next year.
When you said John Wall, my mind still immediately went to the Wizards, and I'm like, oh, yeah, the Wizards are playing great.
No, he's unfortunately a Nugget or a Rocket. That's where players go to either have their careers die or luckily rejuvenated, kind of like with DeMarcus Cousins joining the Clippers. That was luck. Victor Oladipo making it to his way to the Heat was a good transition from the Rockets. Obviously, with James Harden going to the Nets. And now it's all stuff is John Wall.
Cousins got a second 10-day contract with the Clippers, so
that's a good sign.
It's good for him.
Nice. I haven't even seen his numbers. Because there's no like, I don't see any clips of him anymore. He's barely in the NBA, which is
I don't think
funny.
he's playing that much.
Wow, that's so unfortunate. I was so excited to see DeMarcus Cousins join the Lakers, like the big three. I remember talking about that, and I guess I even need it, but it would have been nice to have a big three.
He still got his ring.
He did get that ring, but it's like, did he though? I mean, he has the ring, but is it going to mean anything? I guess. I mean, when we forget about what DeMarcus Cousins did to get his ring in like 30, 60 years, he'll have the ring. So
That's true. Anything else you got?
No, I think we're just excited for basketball. The playoffs are how many weeks away? Like 4, do you think?
Something like that.
The playoffs are right around the corner. The play-in is there. I learned the other day that baseball does awards in the postseason. I thought that was kind of a cool thing. Maybe the NBA can think of some sort of playoff MVP. That'd be cool because Jamal Murray would have definitely won last year.
Yeah, that's a
But
good
no,
idea.
I don't have anything else to say today.
All right. Well, thanks for your support and for watching / listening and all that. We will see you next week.
Daniel will be back next week.
Yep. And Andrew, will you take us out?
Lakers in 4, man.